I left my husband for another man. I left the only man who ever truly loved me. I thought I was choosing passion, but I was actually choosing regret. My husband's name was Michael. We were married for 9 years. He was the kind of man people call boring when they've never had their life destroyed by chaos. Steady, calm, reliable. He remembered birthdays, paid bills on time, made coffee before I even got out of bed. He folded towels the same way every single time. And for a long time, I confused peace with boredom. That was my first mistake. The second was Ethan. I met him at work. New regional manager. Sharp suits. Confident smile. The kind of man who walked into a room like he already owned it. Women noticed him. Men wanted to be him. And he noticed me. At first, it felt harmless. Longer conversations by the coffee machine. Late meetings that somehow became personal. Small compliments that felt bigger than they should have. One day he asked me, "Do you ever feel like you settled too early?" I laughed. But I thought about it all night. Because marriages rarely end with one big betrayal. They end with tiny permissions. One text you shouldn't answer. One lunch that isn't really about work. One secret you tell yourself doesn't count. Michael trusted me completely. That made betraying him easier. Because guilt always looks for someone else to blame. I started staying late at work. Changing clothes before coming home, wearing perfume for no reason. Michael noticed. Good men always notice. They just don't weaponize it. One night during dinner he looked at me and asked, "Are you happy?" I should have told him the truth right there. Instead I lied. "Why would you ask that?" He shrugged. "You feel far away lately." I smiled and said, "I am just tired." He nodded and let me lie. That should have been the moment I stopped. It wasn't. Ethan made everything feel cinematic. Expensive restaurants, hotel bars with low lights. Conversations about passion, freedom, and how life was too short to waste on routine. He made ordinary life sound like failure. And I let him. I started comparing them. Michael's peace to Ethan's excitement. Stability to adrenaline. Real love to temporary attention. People make terrible decisions when they start calling peace boring. I kissed Ethan in a hotel elevator on a Thursday. I still remember the exact floor. Because some mistakes deserve full memory. After that, everything moved fast. Affairs create their own gravity. You lie easier every time you stop recognizing yourself. And somehow you still think you're the victim. I told myself Michael and I had grown apart. I told myself I deserved passion. I told myself leaving was honesty. What I was really doing was dressing selfishness in prettier words. 3 months later, I sat across from my husband and asked for a divorce. He was making tea. He set the spoon down very carefully. Then he asked, "Is there someone else?" And I said yes. I wanted him to fight. To yell. To tell me I was making the biggest mistake of my life. Instead, he just nodded, like a man receiving news he had already read in his own heart. He asked one question, "Do you love him?" I hesitated. That hesitation should have answered everything. But pride is expensive, so I said, "I think I do." He looked down for a few seconds. Then he said, "Okay." That was it. Okay. No performance. No begging. I hated him for being calm. Because if he had screamed, I could have made him the villain. But he didn't. He stood up, walked to the hallway closet, and came back with divorce papers already prepared. I stared at him. "You already did this?" He gave a tired smile. I hoped I was wrong. That sentence broke something in me. But not enough to stop me. I signed. 2 weeks later, I moved into Ethan's apartment. And for a little while, I thought I had won. Freedom, excitement, no guilt, no quiet dinners, just passion. That illusion lasted about 6 weeks. Turns out men who help you cheat usually aren't built for loyalty. Who knew? Ethan flirted with waitresses. Ignored calls for hours. Called emotional distance independence. The same confidence I found attractive started looking a lot like selfishness. One night I found messages on his phone. Late night texts, private jokes, plans hidden behind casual words. I stared at the screen and almost laughed. This was it. The universe had perfect timing. When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it. He looked at me and said something I will probably hear for the rest of my life. I wanted the version of you that was willing to leave someone for me. I just never expected you'd think that made you trustworthy. That was the moment I realized I had destroyed my life trying for a man who never respected me. I moved out the next weekend. No dramatic ending. Just boxes. Silence. Humiliation. I went from wife to affair partner to cautionary tale in less than a year. Then one Saturday morning I drove past my old house. And I saw Michael, in the front yard, laughing. Actually laughing. And next to him was another woman. She was holding coffee. He was fixing something near the garden. They looked easy, comfortable, peaceful. And in that moment, I understood something terrible. I had not left because I found something better. I left because I didn't know how to value something good. There's a big difference. I cried in that car for 20 minutes, not because I wanted him back. Because I finally understood what I had destroyed. 6 months later, I did something pathetic. I knocked on his door. I had practiced apologies in the car. None of them survived when he opened the door. He looked good, not happier, clearer. Like someone who had stopped carrying dead weight. I said the only honest thing left, I made a mistake. He nodded once. I know. I confused excitement with love. I hurt the one person who never tried to hurt me. He listened. Then he said, "You didn't leave because you found love. You left because peace felt too quiet, God." That one hurt. Because it was true. I whispered, "Can we fix this?" And then he stepped aside. And I saw her, the woman from the yard, standing in the kitchen holding 2 mugs of tea. Calm, beautiful, peaceful. Michael looked back at me and said very gently, "No, not cruel, not cold, final. I forgave you a long time ago, but forgiveness and access are not the same thing." He continued, "I have peace now. I won't trade peace for history." That was the moment I knew there was no version of this where I got to come home. Some doors closed softly. Still forever. I nodded. Because dignity was the only thing I had left. "I really am sorry," I whispered. He said, "I know. Take care of yourself." And that was it. No movie ending, no kiss in the rain, no second chance, just consequences. I walked back to my car feeling lighter and worse at the same time. Because closure doesn't heal you, it just removes the excuse to keep waiting. I left my husband for another man and lost everything. Shakespeare said it best. "The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars but in ourselves. It wasn't fate or bad luck, it was me." Thank you for watching. If you like to hear more stories with me, let me know in comments. Do not forget to like.